All right, good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine Tuesday morning? It is the 22nd of March. We're going to get it started here just in a second, but if you guys in the chat could please let me know if you can hear and see my screen. Hear my voice, see my screen, that would be fantastic. And then we will start this show going. All right, thanks, Jim and Ed. Appreciate it, Ed. Sorry for being late and extremely gay this morning. We'll work on that next Thursday, try to get on time. So basically, we got Bitcoin right here. It came into support, and early this month, we were testing this level. It was also a weekly level as well. So we had weekly and monthly support in there, and then that's basically when we were looking for potential bullish opportunities. So Bitcoin trades down into the monthly support, sets in a daily bear trap, and then you trade away. And then we have seen a nice little ascent all week long. So what we were watching coming into this morning was this bearish candle right here. This is was my target. This is last week's, well, I don't think it's last week's. I think it's the previous week. Yeah, this red candle, this one right here, that was the target. Just that wick high is what I was targeting. And this, we were looking originally when we traded down Sunday into this zone of potential demand. We closed above it, and that was good. And then yesterday we had a red day, and we were watching the close. The close closed below your demand zone, but the candle support zone held. So we were looking for bullish price action. I overanalyzed, or basically talked myself right out of taking this bullish entry down here. So we're going to go into the hourly time frame, and I'm going to go ahead and hit bar replay for this right now, just so that way we can get rid of today's price action and we can go down into the intraday charts, and I can basically show you what I was looking at. So right here, this is your close. This is yesterday's close. Now, we knew we were below the demand zone, but the support zone was there, and you can see how basically you tested it. So if we know that this is daily support, we know that it has traded below it the previous day, back above it, and then back down below it, back above it, then that indicates that price is respecting that level. So basically, this would have been the opportunity to get long. And I knew that would have been the opportunity to get long. I even posted it. But then, like I said, I was watching the dollar open last night, and it opened strong. So since the dollar closed green yesterday, since Bitcoin closed red yesterday, also since we have a bear trap on the daily on Bitcoin, let's go back to the daily. Here, it's not really a bear trap because you didn't take out this previous candle's high, right? So I called it a trap, but it really technically wasn't. So you didn't take out that high, but you still took out the low, and this bullish candle did close above resistance. So I overanalyzed it. I should have just said, yep, we're getting long here. That wick high was my target, as that would put you over all three of these swing highs. All three of these days swing highs. Nice little compilation of liquidity up there, and then price just last night, while the dollar was trending higher or was open strong, Bitcoin opened strong as well. So if we go back over here to the hourly, you can see here is that close. That's your closing candle. That's the last candle you have. 2000 hours is when you open. That's your daily open candle right there. So you traded down into daily support on the close. Then you traded below it on the open just a little bit. And then boom, you were moving higher. So was the dollar. So I'll take that. That's my bad. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when I call out trades and stuff like that, I do want to call out, the most higher probable setups and scenarios that I find. Usually, not always, but typically the DXY will trade inversely to the dollar. It's just because Bitcoin is trading against the dollar. So if you have dollar strength and just general, not strength nor weakness on Bitcoin, just, if the dollar is stronger, then Bitcoin will go lower. If the dollar is weaker, Bitcoin will go higher. And you can see this is the open yesterday on the DXY. Right there, 2000 hours, boom. Straight up took out that swing high. That is the previous day's swing high. Got above it, traded below it just a little bit, and then we got that move. So I wasn't really looking for Bitcoin to be trading higher if the dollar is. You can see now that we came into the London session, boom. So, this is probably when they're going to look to separate. But Bitcoin was extremely strong last night. Absolutely ripping faces off. Took out my target and traded right up into that, which I don't think that is anything. Let me go back over here. Okay, yeah, it is. It's monthly resistance. So what I mean by that is you can see this is that monthly close. So that will be your resistance level. This is your entire monthly range on Bitcoin. You can see for the last 3 months you've been trading as an inside month. This candle's inside this one. This candle's inside this one. So you are wedging up. So ultimately, the longer term bullish target is the yearly open. And that will put us right here. Boom. So that's the section of price. That's where we're looking for the next liquidations to occur. Once we get there, I'm then going to see, want to be bullish. Obviously, if we continue bullishness above the yearly open, but if we get up there and fail, then we're trading right back into the range. We will view that as a little bit more bearish than bullish. All right, just because it's going up doesn't mean it's going to stay bullish. What we need to see is we need to see liquidations happen, and then we need to see continuation, because what that will represent to us is we know that there's higher buyers in the market above this wick high, right? It's your highest wick in this consolidation phase. So we know there's higher buyers in the market. If the market triggers those higher buyers and the market participants decide to sell into that, then you're going to fall right back down. However, if there is demand up there, those higher buyers could fuel prices higher, because that in itself will be a source of demand. All right. It's just banks and hedge funds and things like that. They will sell into big moves like this, as that gives them the liquidity needed to enter and exit longer term positions. So right now, that's what we're looking for. Typically, we do look for price to run both sides of the market. Your swing low is down here. Your swing high is up here. When we traded down here, we just tested daily support and we reversed and had a very big, strong day. You can see that you did get bullish continuation off of that. So this event or this area here, we was not looking for that to run down and take out the lows. It got real close and there was a potential for it. But we just, we weren't, because you had already exhausted a lot of the sell side through this move. This is a big move, right? You are off almost 50% from the swing high to the swing low. Well, over 50%, 52%. That's a big move on any asset. When you lose half of its value, that's a big, big move. So we had that, and it was a one-sided market. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, there is only a couple green candles in all of this. 1, 2, 3. So you had, in this entire move lower, you had 3 bullish weeks, and that was it. The rest was sell side. So a consolidation for 5 to 6 weeks. If you remember when we put this in, I even compared it to over here when we had the last big move, how it took several weeks before you finally traded out of that consolidation. We were looking for that to occur again, and that's exactly what is happening. You are trading sideways in a consolidation phase. Some people are calling this Wyckoff. Some people are calling it a bear flag. I am on the camp of the bear flag side, simply because of rising inflation, rising food, rising energy, everything that is terrible for your average working class citizen is happening right now. Fuel prices are at record highs. You are seeing food prices are 50% higher than they were in 2021. All right, so as long as this thing continues over in Europe, the worse it's probably going to get. And the reason I bring all that up is because you have to look at it as the normal working class folk. Once they start to FOMO into Bitcoin, that's generally when you have your big bullish moves, right? Your big range expansions. That's when you have everybody and their brother. Your grandma's asking you about Bitcoin. That's when you see stuff happening for, higher prices. But right now, a $30,000 asset is probably the furthest thing from people's minds right now. The working class, right? That's all I'm talking about. We are different because we follow Bitcoin. We trade it, so we know, right? But your normal working class citizens right now are struggling. And when they are struggling, they are not in the mood, typically, to invest, all right? Especially in internet, and especially in magic internet money. So that is only the reason why I'm kind of leaning more bearish than bullish. Also, we have 6 rate hikes coming this year and more coming next year. There are more hikes coming next year. They are looking to get ahead of this inflation. It's about time. They let it go a little too long, but month over month, inflation is trending higher. With that causing commodities to go up, just be careful if you are in the camp for new all-time highs in 2022. I just do not see it happening, all right? So we'll keep an eye on it. That's why that yearly open, that's going to be the ticket for me as far as if I'm going to be looking for bullish entries on Bitcoin or if we are going to be taking that short entry. So if we get up to the yearly opening range and we have a pretty massive rejection back down into the range, I will be looking to sell any bullish moves back into the yearly open. Because typically if that occurs, then I will be looking at that as just a run on liquidity, and a big fat rejection back under it would signify that they are potentially selling into those higher buyers. All right, so that's how we'll play it. And if we can get short up at 46K on this formation, the measured move puts you down there to fill that gap at about 22K. All right, once that gap is filled, in my opinion, you can start accumulating Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. If you are in the camp to where you think this is the low because of all the on-chain metrics out there, because your favorite Twitter star excuse me, is saying that this is the low, well then buy it, right? It's your choice, not mine. I am not yet, right? But I trade every single day, so I'm making money on Bitcoin week over week. So that in its sense is a way for me to be buying essentially, right? The more Bitcoin I make, that just ends up going into my long-term HODL portfolio. So I am scalping Bitcoin to make more Bitcoin. I am as long as you can be on Bitcoin. But for the near term, I think we're probably going to see a little bit more downside. With that being said, if we get up in here, we stay up here, consolidate up here, and then continue bullish, then we will be buying it, right? We'll be looking for bullish entries. We'll be targeting wick highs until we find an area where it finds resistance. And if it wants to continue to go on into all-time highs, then I will be right there with you guys, excited and happy, right? Because I own Bitcoin. I am long. But yeah, we have to, the way I approach these markets and these live streams and videos is there's not really many people out there that I can see that are bearish. You either have your always bearish people or your always bullish people. I try to give you guys both sides of the market, right? If you're looking to buy it at support. If you're looking to sell it at resistance. Those are the best ways to approach this market. And being, 40-something% off the all-time high, you are in a downtrend. If you don't want to use the dreaded word bear market, don't. But you're off almost 50% and you're trending lower. You've just been sideways. You have not had any signs of strength in this market since that low was put in. In fact, every time you get a pop, it gets sold into. Pop, sold into. Pop, sold into. Here's the pop. So yes, getting above this price and continuing bullish will be a very good sign for Bitcoin up to the next resistance level. All right? And that's the way we'll play it. But if we fail there, we're going to be looking for shorts. But as of right now, the move happened yesterday. So where are we going to look for bullish entries on Bitcoin today or tomorrow? Well, here was the area of resistance that we did put that bull trap in. So I would potentially be looking for that region there to find or support. If I bring the fib tool over here and pull up the Fibonacci retracement tool, you can see that your midpoint is right there. So those are typically good areas to look for potential support. But what I would simply do is I would just watch hourly chart and wait for a support to be built in. So like this support was built in. Support, 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 right? That's building in support. This candle did close below support, but you were right back above it with this push here. So wait for a support to be built in. It's only 5:53 a.m. We know that in the Forex market, the New York session starts at 8 a.m. So you have a few hours before you're going to get the New York volume. And as long as you look like this, it looks good. Right now, your near-term support on Bitcoin is $42,239.44. So if price wants to trade back down here and maintain this on a closing basis, then you can look for potential bullish entries. And you could target the high of day. That was a pretty big move last night. Pretty big move. So I wish I would have never even looked at the dollar chart, because if I wouldn't have, I would have basically maintained my position of looking for that bullish pop. Now we are going to go over here to Glassnode for a second, because I just want to show you a few things that I was talking about yesterday. But we will see if my internet will allow it. Good morning. He checked YouTube channel called Optic Alert. All right. Can we take a look at ETH? It looks like I want to pump more than Bitcoin. Yeah, we can. Hopefully this will pop up soon, because I really want to. Well, looks like it's going to be a pain. So let's do this. Just bear with me one moment. All right, so I can pull this over here like so. This is your futures open interest. You could see how it was building higher, right? This is moving up, moving up, moving up. Now, we don't know if these are buyers or sellers, so you will see, volume start to build, orders start to build as you get to these levels, right? But we were looking at this as a bullish signal because you're just trading, you're trading up pretty much all week, and we can get rid of that one. And then we will look at this one is the real one I wanted you to look at. This is your put to call ratio. See how your put to call ratio, this is the ratio, is going lower. So this means that investors are not buying puts, okay? Typically they will buy puts, and then this put to call ratio will go up. When it starts to turn around and go higher, as price goes higher, this typically will go higher too, as that's when investors will start to buy puts. But real investors do not look to go long, or do not look to short, I should say, at support. So, they're just not going to do that. And you did have support right there. So, it is what it is. As being a trader, you're going to miss moves, right? You're just going to miss them. You're not going to be able to catch every single one. And if you look at the size of this candle compared to this one, it is absolutely nothing. It looks really, really big on an intraday chart. And to be honest with you, it is the biggest daily range we've had since this one, right? This one's about the same size, maybe a little bigger. So it's not like anything impressive as far as how big the range is, but you did clear out this liquidity. So that was the high probable setup, looking for support to hold, targeting this wick high because that was the liquidity zone. Now, it's important for me to show you that you are into a daily supply zone. Absolutely. Would I short this? No, simply because I have a longer term higher target of the yearly open. If that wasn't up there, or I would be looking for this to potentially hold price. But you can see if you look at the chart, especially on the longer or the higher time frame charts, all you're doing is bouncing from demand to supply. So this is demand. Once you got above it, boom, 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 boom. So price is testing demand. What happens after it finds demand? It reaches up to supply. Then it finds supply. Then it moves back down to demand. So you're just bouncing in a longer term region of supply and demand. So I don't know what YouTube's deal is, but I am not dropping any frames. So whatever. It is saying not receiving enough, but we're going to continue. All right, so that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. We got the move we were looking for yesterday. There it is. All right, so now what we're going to be looking for is we're going to look for another support zone to be found and held, and we're going to be pressing on up into that region over there. All right. Euro is into monthly support, but trying to find. All right, so yeah, let me come in again. All right, so basically right here is the monthly support. It's going to be just like the DXY. The DXY is coming into monthly resistance. Here's another support zone. So you have two potential areas of support. You tested into both of those. This is your monthly range. And as of right now, it is currently holding. So for the near time on Euro, or right here, we were watching, I just put this on the chart to basically signify this is the small little uptrend that it did try to build. You can see last night we broke down below that, and today we came right back up in for a retest. Now, if we test this open up here, this is the daily open on the Euro. This is where I'm looking to get short, not this trend line. All right, and especially not this early. So what I would assume is going on here is a little bit of just making people assume that it's going to go lower. So if we get a spike up to the open, then that's where I could potentially look for a bearish entry just because it's trending lower, right? And that's your uptrend. You've broke down below it. So you have closed a 4-hour candle below it, multiple 4-hour candles below it. So we will see if this wants to hold. If it does, a lot of volume will come piling into this now to look for short side continuation, right? And if that occurs, then you're going to have bullish dollar again. And hopefully Bitcoin will remain stronger than the dollar and continue to move up, at least, and hit that yearly opening range. But here is Euro right now. Even though, the near term is in an uptrend, you've broken down below it. I will leave it up to you to decide if you want to get long this or not. It is obviously in a downtrend. It is obviously bearish as bearish can get. If we go back to the daily, cross my fingers, it worked. You can see that we traded right up into the 50 on the RSI. This is a fantastic place to watch for potential resistance. There wasn't no level here on the daily to watch for. So whatever this candle went up and tested had to be on an intraday chart or a smaller time frame chart. So that's probably what this was testing. And then you've had 3 bearish days of continuation since the test. So we're up high on the RSI, which means you got more room to the downside before you hit oversold regions. So we are going to continue to watch this trend line and the day's open for potential bearish entries. All right. And the pound is strong today. Here is the pound dollar. You can see that you do have a bit of a range built in here on the pound as well. Right there is going to be the high. You did test it yesterday, it looks like. There. What's that price? The high is 2,101. So it wasn't a perfect test, but it was close. So basically what I mean, like, you can see how you have a double top formed in here. Boom, boom. Well, those are typically good places to aim for, especially if you start to see price reach in that direction. So it does look like it's reaching in that direction. I do understand that this is resistance, and I don't like to buy into resistance. I would have loved to have gotten in lower, but with this kind of price action going on, this has been very wacky, right? This is a massive move, had to do with the interest rate decision for the British pound, and then since you've been trading in this range. So it looks like it wants to pop the top. What we'll do is we'll wait for support. If we trade down to here before the New York Open or at or around the New York Open and set in a support, we will target 1.32111. Once that happens, we will take profits and move our, or if that happens, we will take profits and move our stops up to break even. So that's about it. And we'll probably be looking short on the euro. Unfortunately, I know it sounds like it's counteracting. If the pound's going to be bullish, then the euro should be too. But, the dollar is strong right now. It opened up strong yesterday. And since the last 2 days have been bullish, we have to kind of give more attention to the upside on XY. My favorite Twitter star, no, not me. Not me. F to the PB on SPY, straight up all-time high, just buy. All right, we'll go look at SPX again. Well, not again. We haven't looked at it yet this morning. It's just being around from asset to asset is going to be a very big pain in my ass this morning, apparently, as we are again having difficulties. I need to get off this intraday chart so it comes and goes in waves. Maybe, I don't know. Come on. Jesus. Yeah. Thank you. So annoying. I didn't have any troubles out of the morning streams until just a few weeks ago. We started getting this bullshit. All right. Here's your downtrend. Right? There's the breakout above. So this was your bullish or your bearish trend to the downside since you put in your all-time high and rolled over. So when those trends get broken, you have to pay attention to that. So right now, a lot of people. Now, if this was going to be a fake out, you would have, on this day, closed above just like this, And then what we would have wanted to see on the SPX was it to roll over and come back down inside of the trend line. But what you got the very next day was boom. Big, strong daily candle. So a lot of people was looking at that as a trap apparently and getting short. And that was a bad idea. As we can see in hindsight, this thing went higher. You are into a level of resistance right here, but I do suspect that that level is going to break. The supply zone from that candle has indeed already been broken above, but you can see the resistance is holding it just a little bit more. Then you have this swing low over here that is going to potentially act as resistance too. So typically what you're looking for to get long on an asset like this is you're looking for that push lower. Then you're looking for support, right? So you can see that this bearish candle tested down probably close to the 618 retracement of this bullish candle to the 50%. Look at that. Just boom. That's, fantastic place to look for bullish entries if you are indeed bullish. If you go over here to the hourly time frame, you can see this fantastic test right there. But then you didn't get much continuation off of it, right? Now you're seeing that continuation today. So, same scenario. You're going to be watching for support if you are indeed bullish. I don't like buying it when it's forming up at resistance, but you didn't take out that little swing high. But this swing high did take out the previous day. So I'll leave it up to you once again. It is ranging at the high, so it does look like it wants to break. And since you did break out of this trend, you have to kind of give more respect to the bullish side for now. If you look, this has been pretty explanatory. You got a triple bottom here, just boom, 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 and then a big explosion to the upside. Can it reverse and roll over and become bearish again? Absolutely it can. Absolutely it can. Welcome to a higher interest rate environment. It's going to be difficult trading from here on out. So, pay attention to your ranges and look to take those entries at and around higher probable areas. Euro USD bullish engulfing on the 4 hour. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Jimenez, it is looking like it wants to be bullish today, but as long as it's underneath that trend line, we have to kind of respect the bearish side this morning. Good morning, Trade Talk. Good morning, Imran. DXY taking a high and low previous 4 hour candle. Yep. Good morning, Black to the Block. Ed, clear, all good. Thanks, loud and clear. There's a lot of those. Thank you guys so much. Great morning, everyone. Thanks for taking this time, brother. Trust me, guys, when the internet becomes better, they're going to get way better. 90%. Because my mood will change. Everything will change. When you fight with something every single day, you almost don't even feel like doing it. When my alarm went off this morning, I was like, why even bother? The internet is shit. But I still keep trying, right? Because I'm not a quitter. Good morning, Heath. Check YouTube channel called Optical Alert. I will. Or Optical Art. I don't know anything about them. I will look into them today if I remember. Can we take a look at ETH? Heath looks... Oh, yeah, that's right. Ethereum. Let's go look at it. Hopefully we won't have any trouble. We'll just switch over like that. Wow, nice and smooth. To me, it doesn't look as strong as Bitcoin. To me, you had 3 hours of bullishness here. The only way to tell which is stronger is to just measure it and see what the percentage gain was, right? So you would basically want to go from where you found support, which is there, and then go to the high. So you had a 5.81%. I think Bitcoin's trading at 3% right now, 3.8%. So similar, 3.65%. Very similar, I guess. It does look bigger on Bitcoin, but I guess not. Yeah, same scenario. Let's go to the daily. You did the same exact thing. You cleared out the last 5 days or 4 days of liquidity. Did you get above that? Yes, you did. So you did more than that. You took out the swing high of March the 2nd. So you took out that previous week's high. Same exact move as you got on Bitcoin. This asset is moving almost in step with Bitcoin. Like whatever Bitcoin does, this does too, right? A lot of cryptos do this, but this everything looks exactly like Bitcoin almost. Not 100% exact, but really close. So yeah, whatever our bias is on Bitcoin, we're going to keep that same. Here's something different. This is a wedge and not a channel like on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in a channel. Yeah, even if you do that, it doesn't work. I mean, you would have to do that, and then it's still. Why would you do that, right? So yeah, you're in a triangle formation here. So I mean, to stay out of the chop, right? The best or safe thing to do is wait for the breakout, wait for the breakdown. But you will miss, several $100s worth of price action if you do that. But it would potentially be safer bet, right? And typically the way you want to view consolidation, especially longer term consolidations, is which way was the trend going when you came into the consolidation, right? So here you were going down, then you came into the consolidation. So I mean, yeah, it's very, very clear almost that you're potentially going to get up here and then roll over again. But if you break out and you stay bullish, then you can look for bullish entries on Ethereum. It's just 6 interest rate hikes this year, 6 of them. Eventually, the market isn't going to enjoy that. So far, it likes it. So far, it's okay. But eventually, you're probably going to see more bearishness. And if not, I'm happy. I'm happy. I would much rather be bullish. Trading in a bullish market is so much easier than trading in a bearish market because all you have to do is buy support and just sit back and relax and watch as the gains come rolling in. The gain train comes rolling right by. Though that's nice. Whereas in a bear market, you get big nasty moves lower, then you get big rips to the face, then you get choppy sideways and then down and then up. It's just crazy, right? A lot more volatility in a bear market than you get in a bull market. So we're going to hope for the best, but we'll prepare for the worst. All right. See, please hit the like, folks. See, if you don't mind, I mean, obviously the stream is not doing so good today. Magic Internet Money, love it. Like destroyed, thank you. Heath, what price would you enter intraday for SPY, long or short? Well, right now you're trading at resistance on the SPY, on the SPX. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no trade to take on it right now. You would have to pull back off the highs before you could look for any bullish entries. See, if you look at your daily candle, this is your day. This is the day we're on. This is your range. You're tiny, you're small. You're inside yesterday's range. You're inside yesterday's high. You're inside yesterday's low. So it's choppy, sideways. But you're at the high of day. You want to look for bullish entries close to the low of day. So that's already happened. So now what you have is you have sellers or you have your short side guys looking to short this because they're seeing that you're into resistance. All right. Now we know that it's above resistance slightly, but they'll come around. So I mean, well, did you close above resistance? Yes, you did. That's resistance. Test, failed. There's your close above. So your entry would have been here. Would you have taken it? Probably not, right? You would have wanted to wait to see if you regain support. This would have been support. There's your breakdown. You get a stab lower. This all happened during like around 1, 2 o'clock yesterday during the market. This is your bounce back up. But then here is your retest. That's your buying opportunity. Right back into support. Old support. Right there. Tack, tack, tack. See ya. That would have been the place to enter. Right? That's what you're looking for. If you're looking for bullish price action, you want to buy support. If you're day trading, you look for intraday support. If you're at daily support, it's even better, right? Because then you can line up your intraday support with your daily support, and those are really fantastic places to look for entries. But right now, there is no entry on the SPX or SPY right now. Nothing. If you buy it right now, you're probably going to get stopped out unless your stop is all the way down here. And if that's the case, you're swing trading, not day trading. And we do have daily res on old swing low right here. So old swing lows, that is support, was support. There's the breakdown of support. You didn't test it as resistance, you fell short. So chances are, if you get going with bullishness, you're probably going to fly right on through that 44.90 level, because you are already above daily res. That is daily resistance right there. So basically what I would be looking for is intraday support, and then I would have a longer dated target of about 45.25. And then that's going to get very interesting when the SPX gets up there, right? Look at this fantastic stuff here. Trades down, sets in a swing low, goes up, then rejects. Then you get a bullish pop above resistance, and then boom, you break down. So it's already been tested as supply on this day. When you opened on this day, price traded up, right up into that daily Heath level, and then blam. So it will be interesting to see what price does when it gets into there again, as that will be the nearest term supply. Obviously, resistance will be the close of that bullish candle, and then your next region will be up in here. Or there, yeah. So just mark that resistance. That's supply. We'll leave it there, as that'll be a target. And then 45.87 is going to be potential resistance. Old support here. You can see that wick came right down into it. So that was an area of interest. But by forming that bull trap up there, wick, price traded around a little bit here, wick, then there's the close. This was nothing more than a trap. Pull in everybody bullish and then dump it in their face. So yeah, I mean, right now there's no trade on it. Can I look at Luna, AVAX, Rune, please? I will look at Luna, and hopefully the chart will come up. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and go to KuCoin. Yay! So Luna's bullish, right? Luna's bullish. We talked about it the other day when we were here. I did a channel member and Patreon live stream Sunday, and we were talking about looking for bullish entries on Luna because Luna is bullish. Luna is 100% bullish. If you put this up here like this, you can see all of your major moving averages are obviously spreading out. So not only is it nice when they're sloping in the upward direction, it really signifies strength once they start to pull apart from each other. See how they start to fan out, right? That's it's strong. Now, is this going to be what Bitcoin did, right? All-time high, bear market, then you go back up, take out the high and roll over? It does not appear so, right? Because you found support there, right there. Traded down, found support there, got a bounce, traded back into it again. Look at this. Traded right back up, and you're getting bullish continuation. So basically what I'm going to watch is I'm going to watch 99.24, 94. This is an area of potential supply. So any bullish positions taken off of this support test, right? Because here was the old resistance was there, but you didn't get a perfect test. You didn't even test it, right? And then the next day, yesterday, bullish, boom. So people are going to be looking for this to continue. This is going to be the next area to watch for potential support, 92.11. And then that would be my target. I would take profits there 100%. Well, 75% of the position for sure is what I mean. You're price gets up there, you want to protect your risk by taking profits, then moving your stop up. So that way, if you do get a rejection there, to signify that this is just a stop run to roll over, then yeah. But this thing's been very, very, very bullish. Very, 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 very bullish. And you did just close above resistance yesterday. So you have to treat that with bullish respect until you get below the low of that bullish candle. As long as you're trading above the low of this breakout candle, you have to look at it as a buying opportunity. But what was your other one? I mean, yeah, so watch 90 to 11 for intraday support. Rune. I've never traded Rune, but I will look at it. Thor chain. It's a rather new asset, or it just came to KuCoin. Same thing as every other cryptocurrency. It set in a longer term high, then had a 92% dump. This is selling exhaustion. If you look at this looks exactly like Bitcoin did before the B Word podcast happened. Right? Your weekly chart looked exactly like this. And then this even. Am I saying that this is going to go on up and make all-time highs after falling 90%? It's unlikely. Can it happen? Absolutely. Right? So watch your old support zone. This level right here, that's also demand, right? Or supply, apologies. So I mean, you've already taken out weekly res right there, $77.71. You've already smoked that. You're looking for bullish continuation, and you're bullish on the week. Very small range this week, so you might be looking for another bullish expansion. Here's the daily. What does the daily look like? It looks strong, man, for the near term. Something like this has already got you well above your 21 exponential moving average. You're in the overbought regions. So, I typically don't like to buy in overbought regions because you got a pullback incoming. But typically that just shows you how aggressive people are buying this asset right now. But this would be my target for the near term, $10. Obviously look to buy it at support. And you've already had 2 attempts at that for the last 2 days. So you would go into a smaller time frame chart. This is daily support. So once you got back above it here, I would have been looking to take longs once you traded back into it there. And you could see that you did get a pop off of it, but then you got stopped out when price came back down, and then you got the move. So since this happened, look for support to hold. There's daily support, intraday on Rune. You're overbought, so if you're getting long in overbought territories. But overbought can stay overbought for a long time, right? I would definitely be leaning a little bit more bullish until you start doing any kind of divergences or something. And you don't have any divergences on the intraday chart. You don't really have any divergences on the daily chart either. So, I mean, yeah, if I were you, what I would do is I'd leave this asset alone. I just wouldn't trade it. I mean, this massive pop, this is probably going to see a pullback pretty soon. That was a very aggressive pop. You exhausted the sell side, and then that's what happened. So this will entice the sell side to come right back into this thing. And then AVAX, I mean, it fell 92%. That is never good. Ever good. When you lose 90% of your asset's value. So let's get rid of all this stuff because it's just a lot. AVAX has been trending sideways. Come on, let's see what the weekly looks like. Okay, so the weekly's in the resistance, but you still have bullish targets. This is my target on this thing right there. If it gets up there, right? Just because I have a bullish target does not mean that price is ever going to go up there. That's just typically what I'd be looking for. Because retail sees all of this and that's selling pressure, right, to them. This is selling pressure. When in reality, all it is sideways choppiness on a weekly time frame. So that would be my target right there. But we would need it to find support. Oh, and also another thing to keep in mind, you are at supply. And you are struggling at it. All right? So what we have to do is we go into a smaller time frame chart. Beautiful pullback on that supply. I mean, fantastic pullback. Look at this. Boop. Took out the previous day's low. And then the next day you took out the high. So it looks like it's gearing up for a run on up into 98.63. The entry was down here. So what am I talking about? Let's get rid of this, as we know that's the supply. Or here, let's just use another line. I just hate to muddy up the chart. So that's support, right? You're bullish. Even though you're into supply, you're bullish. This day was a fantastic take out everybody, destroy the liquidity. So when this closed on this day, you would have been looking for a pullback down into support. And that is where you got it. Right here. So this was at night. During the Asian session, the market opens, you trade lower, down into support, then you get your move higher, your expansion. And it wasn't nothing major. There's the wick, so that would have been the time to look for entries. And then, yeah, it doesn't look good. It's stalling. It's stalling above resistance, but it is indeed stalling. So, I mean, that'll be good if it can spike. That target is well up there, though. So just keep an eye on it. Back over here to the daily, what do we got? Well, you see this? This is bullish. That's bullish, and you're not overbought yet. So look for support tests. You have to wait for another one. You have to wait for another support. But you're probably going to be looking for 98,683. It might not happen this week because that's a significant move from where near-term price is, but it could. Daily res, though. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't suggest going long on pound USD. Not at all. You're in an obvious downtrend. I mean, yeah, there's no way I would look to buy this thing. It's bullish on the day, but still, I mean, that's the target because it's a double top. Once that's gone, once the price trades up through that, then there's no high probable trade. But I can't take it now because it's about to happen, right? I'm definitely not buying that. I need to buy into support, and there was no support formed on this move. I mean, these are all bullish candles. We need some bearish candles in there because we like to buy them. Yeah, I don't suggest you take the pound dollar short or long. What's euro dollar doing again or now that we've had a little bit of time? It is 6:30, so I am going to have to wrap it up a little bit here in a little bit. Yeah, so you push down, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think I would be looking to get short this until that wick high gets smoked. And I do not want to see an hourly close above the daily open. So one spot 10161, if you close an hourly above that white line, then you will scrap the trade. If you get up there and you reject, then we can look for retests to get short. But, you know, that's bullish momentum coming from the London session open. I have seen bullish momentum get sold into, but I don't typically like to sell into it. My favorite days to trade is when you have an obvious trend, which we do here, right? And then you get a move lower, and then all of the Asian session you trade higher, and then but not fast, right? Not fast. Slowly, just migrate up. Those are my favorite ones to hit. But this is a little bit more bullish, and you did take out resistance as well. But you are still bearish on the day as long as you're under one spot 10161. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. K4 Liberty. I really appreciate it. You said patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It can get frustrating waiting, though. Everybody's human. All right, guys, you all have a fantastic day. Have any questions, as always, feel free to drop them down in the comment section once this video gets posted to YouTube, and I will answer them. Make sure you guys trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading.